Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod, the Midwest's most dangerous podcast, season 15, episode 3, coming to you live from the NECA IBEW Powering Indiana Lake County studio.
Morning.
Hey, welcome back.
Yes.
Morning. Good to see you, Joe. Hey, John.
Hey. Joe, thank you for the coffee.
Hey, Chad, let us know if everything sounds good. There's been some weird OBS issues this morning.
Our sister station was off the air this morning.
Sister station. WMCD?
That thing, WMCD, cost them a couple $1 million. We put this together for like
peanuts.
Yeah, and we're calling it our sister
couple
station.
bucks.
We're doing something right.
I love it.
I didn't spend seven figures. Our sister station was off this morning, and we're wobbling. So if we go off, please let us.
We got a good show today. Actually, Steve Kellogg, great job. We got our Lockpod's Canadian international correspondent Jesse Hirsch will be on third segment.
International correspondent.
Does that sound exciting?
I love it. I know.
It's true.
Mayor's going to talk about our lieutenant governor and what an interesting fella he is.
He's a pastor, so you can't call him an asshole.
You can't
sure
go
can.
after him.
Well, you could.
Sure fucking can.
He's got the shield
we're
of
going
God.
to. I'm going to say it. Yeah.
We're going to talk about him in the second segment, and we got some really funny stuff coming up. So
the Canadian ambassador, third segment. I'm looking forward to it.
Correspondent.
But you guys always bring him on when I'm not on the show.
Not
so
this time.
I'm excited.
Does that make us his American correspondents?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so. He's going to ask us
my
questions.
resume.
We're gonna question each other.
I thought
supply information. It's good lubricant for U.S. Canadian relations.
Agree.
Yeah.
But during these tough times during
Lockpod
American
is a lubricant.
That's right. We're just oiling them up, oiling up the
Let's
Canadians.
oil up because we need to oil up the relations because Trump's
trying to make it tough.
A lot
on
of friction.
51st state. But no, I think the interesting thing that one of the things Jesse said last time he was on was that when he came on Lockpod the first time, he liked kind of our format so much that he started his own Canadian political podcast in addition to the one he already had.
Is it Rockpod?
Yeah,
we got to ask him.
Oh, that's cool.
We need to have. It's another sister station for us. It's Lockpod and Rockpod.
Rockpod.
It's like Redstone should do Rockpod and we do Lockpod
because
it's
left
perfect.
to center.
Yes.
Yeah.
Red, get on it.
You're wearing red today.
I am wearing red in honor of red. I was going to wear my Cubs jersey again, but I decided like 4 days in a row is too much. Because I got the light blue, baby blue Dansby Swanson Cubs jersey last week.
Yes.
And ever since, and I got it when he's batting $180.
Check it out on season 15, episode 2. You'll be able to see Tom in it.
But he was batting $180, and I'm like, I'm buying a guy's fucking jersey, and he's batting $180.
I've always been a Dansby fan, though.
I love Dansby. He's the captain of the team. You know, like I went to a game last week, Joe. You know Dansby, right? He's the shortstop. He's like the company
Gold
man.
glove.
The Cubs signed him to. That was one of their first big contracts with the current team. They signed him to like a $200 million deal over like 8 years. So we got him for most of his career.
I would say, what is this, year 3?
Yeah, something like that. Year 3. And then so I see Dansby the other day. I take Marissa and I went to a game. We just last second shot over to Wrigley, and we were sitting there. We had pretty good seats right by the Cubs dugout, and they were doing the national anthem and everything before the game. And Dansby, so you had Counsell and his coaches are out there on the line, and then you only had 2 Cubs players out there, like with their hats, you know. And it was Dansby Swanson and it was PCA, Pete Crow. But the thing that was interesting to me was Dansby Swanson was at full military attention the whole time. They did the God Bless America, and then they did the national anthem. He was at full attention, like a military person the whole time, like rigid, like a military posture. And then as soon as it let up, he went back down in the dugout, and I was like, he's a fucking badass, man. There was something about that
older guy, leader on the team.
Yeah,
I wonder
man.
if his family is
he's like a
military.
leader of the team. Exactly, Kevin. He's like the captain, like showing all the young guys, this is what you do, man. And for the Cubs, like the Cubs spent $200 million on that guy, and he's batting a fucking $180, right? So
you don't have to tell me he's on my fantasy baseball team.
Yeah. So go out there and stand at attention, asshole. Right? Like it's the least you can do.
If he starts
at this
hitting,
point.
he's not going to be out there.
Right. Well, okay, that's an interesting experiment. It's because I bought the jersey, right? And he's hit 4 home runs since then, and his average has got to be over 200 now.
I was just checking it out. I was just actually checking out my Dansby Swanson notes or stats. Over the last week, he's hitting 360.
See?
Over the last 2 weeks, he's hitting 340.
So this is what I'm thinking. This is all because I bought that jersey, obviously, right? So why doesn't Dansby hook me up and send me like an autographed jersey or something?
Like, thank you, Mayor Tom.
I'm his guy, and I'm freaking sticking up
charm.
for him. And then I buy his damn jersey. Boom, he's on fire. So like Dansby, I know you were watching out there. He's a Lockpod fan.
So when he starts
Hook
hitting
me up,
180
man.
again in June,
He won't.
Is it going to be
because
you
I got
have
the
jersey?
I got the jersey.
He's on it.
I wore it like 4 days in a row, Dansby. Help me out.
He's
So-
going to be hitting 333 by the end of the year.
I hope so.
All right. Well, it wouldn't be bad for the Cubs.
Yeah, Cubbies
Did
are
you see
playing
that
great.
Cubs game in Pittsburgh with that
Yeah.
guy? Holy shit.
Yeah, when
That
he
was
fell,
crazy.
terrible.
Wow.
Like I was watching live, and I thought it was, you know how when people run on the field, they like cut
That's what I
away?
thought happened.
Yeah, and then you started realizing there's something wrong because they were showing the crowd, and the crowd was like, and they're like pointing out there, and they're like flabbergasted.
Is there video of it?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
video. Yeah,
yeah,
if you didn't see it, a
No.
fan fell
He-
like 20 some feet over.
21,
Yeah,
yeah.
Somersaulted and
Yeah.
landed on the field right there.
Not
by
good.
Kyle Tucker.
Oh.
Yeah,
Out in
like
right field.
didn't move. Yeah, he and they had to. So like they cut away from the game, and all the Cubs and everybody was on their knee, just like, oh my god, the guy just they crunched right onto the field.
I didn't hear
All
any
right, I gotta find
Critical
that video.
condition.
Yeah, it's
oh,
still
What?
critical.
Yeah.
Oh god,
John, pull
And
it
I
up, man. It's,
don't know
you
that
can
I
see
wanna
it.
see that
It's not.
video.
No, it's not gory.
It's not gory.
Okay.
No, you'd see him fall. You could see how he landed, which is not a natural angle to land. I
There
mean,
it
unless
is.
you're used to landing on your face. I wouldn't. I would go for the feet personally.
Yeah, just watch.
Oh,
He's
it's
like,
blurred out.
Oh,
No,
get
is
the,
it?
Get
You
the one
can
that's
watch
not
it.
Dude,
blurred out.
get a good
Get
one,
a
dude.
good
Like,
one.
I saw a person get eaten by a shark on TikTok. No, I don't need blurs.
John's
TikTok's
having some
brutal.
trouble. Fine.
TikTok's brutal.
We should have put it in there, John. I didn't
You
think
know,
about that.
X used to be the place to go for breaking news. It's TikTok now. If you want to see gory shit, go right immediately to
No,
TikTok.
thank you.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I do not.
We go to TikTok, type in "shark eats man,"
No,
and it's
thank
like
you.
boom, goes right to it.
Who does that
Yeah,
anyway?
dude, I do. I do.
Of
It was
course you
it was,
do.
You
It
are
was in
sick,
India.
man.
It was freaking crazy.
It's always in India, dude.
It was crazy. The
What
shark
doesn't
just
happen
started
in
munching.
India?
It was
in India.
horrible, dude. His dad was in a boat, like watching his kid getting eaten. And what do? It's a freaking great white shark.
I mean, you're thinking
Jump in and save him.
it's like 1 billion people in like the size of New Jersey or something.
All right, see it?
Oh,
Dude, are you
man,
fucking
unbelievable.
That's
terrible.
Thank God it was just a 20-foot fall because you get some big drops in baseball stadiums.
Yeah.
No,
That-
at least the guy's in critical condition.
That happens every once in a while. Let's hope that the guy recovers. That was a bad fall.
Yeah, it
All right.
sucks, man.
What else we got today?
Dude,
You had a busy week.
websites are, I'm sorry, they are insufferable. You can't, they're so
yeah, all the
covered in
commercials.
ads.
That's bad.
Yeah, man.
Never used to be like that in the internet.
Yeah,
went
when
to
Biden was
TikTok.
president. Fucking Trump, man. Everything.
It's all Trump's fault
everything,
now.
It is Trump's
Isn't it
fault,
nice
let's
we
be
can say
honest.
that?
I know,
Not
I do.
Trump.
Ford's getting a free ad out of us here.
Yeah,
Trumponomics.
Trump.
It's Trumponomics.
Trump's trying to help the auto industry.
Yeah.
Put the ads on the internet.
Dude, yesterday, I had literally probably one of the busiest days I've had in a long time.
When we pre-showed and you were still in your suit, your tie, I was
Yeah,
like, "Damn,
7
dude,
o'clock
you
at
look
night.
tired." You're like, "I am."
I was
tired."
driving around like a lawyer yesterday, dude. I drove around Lake County 2 times, Kevin, in circles yesterday. I had
Yeah.
separate meetings on both sides of the county 2 times yesterday. So I did National Day of Prayer, which
Always an annual thing in the city.
it is an annual thing. And it's like, honestly, it's a super nice event always. It's very like you pull in churches from across the city, you know, and it's very diverse and it's really nice. It really is. And it's not the easiest place to give a speech because I'm not a preacher. And a lot of speeches are, you know, preachers and they're great, you know, and then I go up there and I'm like, "Hey, everybody, Mayor Tom here, blah, blah, blah," you know, like it's so like, I think I did all right yesterday. I
Nice.
even acknowledge I'm not the
good.
most outwardly religious person, but like, and I talked about why I think it's important to get together for prayer and stuff like that. It was nice.
I'm so
Good
glad I
event.
don't have to sit at your table anymore. with
Why?
Those things. I don't.
You
That's
don't
not
like
my
eating with me?
jam.
You don't like eating with me?
No, it's not the prayer thing for me. That's not my
Oh,
jam.
no. I know. No,
Not my jam.
Praying
not
isn't
everybody's
your
super
jam.
comfortable with that one.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. Like Tom McDermott as a mayor, I'm not a policy and religious guy at the same time.
We're going to talk about a guy that is
right.
in the
I just
second
don't.
segment.
So like that to me is like you're not supposed to mesh politics and religion. And I get uncomfortable. The Hammond Council does a prayer before every meeting. It's legal. It's went to the U.S. Not ours didn't go to the U.S. Supreme Court, but that's been litigated to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my opinion's always been like I like knowing that government doesn't delve into it should not delve into religion. I mean, and the only reason I think that is because like, you know, if you believe in America, you believe that no matter what your faith is or no faith at all, that you're still getting a fair shake and you're still not going to be like, and then if one religion dominates, which of course it does in this country anyway, I don't know. It's just, to me, I don't, and by the way, I am religious. I mean, not like overly, but I go to church.
You're
and-
religious.
And I
For
try to
sure.
go to mass and all that
You're
stuff. And
more more so than me.
Well, whatever. I mean, it does. I mean, I don't know.
I agree.
I'm not saying like
It's
there's
nice.
a barometer, right? I mean, it's not like there is level.
There is.
There is a barometer.
You're pretty high on it.
I guess
You're higher than me.
the point is,
He's a good
that
Catholic boy.
He
I
is.
try to be. I'm
He's a
probably
good boy.
not, but I try to
What
be.
are you talking about?
Oh, it's that Catholic guilt.
Would you give up?
it is.
It is. See, Joe.
I haven't gone to confession.
What
in a
did you
while.
give up? I haven't gone to confession.
You haven't
it's
done
been a
anything
while.
naughty.
If I have to like schedule time if I'm going to go to confession,
Yeah,
it's been a
it's like,
couple. It's
can
been
I
a
get
couple.
Can I get an hour and a half?
Dude, I
Father?
need like Christy to work that one out.
Yeah,
It's, like,
gotta be
it's
on
got a
the-
couple
yeah.
hours of everybody's time. So.
But I mean, you know,
Just
the
bring
point-
a priest in here. He could just absolve all of us.
Really?
At
On
once.
the air?
Yeah, sure. Why
I
not?
get
You don't have to say anything.
uncomfortable.
Just be like, believe me.
Wouldn't that be nice? You're absolved.
fucked
Yeah,
up.
we have to. Yeah, believe me, I fucked up.
How about three?
Like, do I have to get into detail?
A couple
I
Hail
fucked up
Marys,
multiple times.
a glory
Like,
beer, and you're
Do
good.
you want to know exactly? That's where it gets uncomfortable.
Is that our
I did-
title? Believe me, I fucked
Believe,
up.
Believe me, Father, I fucked up.
Bless me, Father.
No, I mean, I'm with you, Tom. Like, I think that when religion gets too much into government, it gets me nervous. I just don't think it has a place. I mean, it has a place, but it doesn't have a. It shouldn't be a dominating place on governmental decisions.
It's like sometimes the prayers that I experience in government meetings are very exclusive. It's like I look around the room, I'm like, I don't think everybody in this room feels the same way about religion as the person that's making the prayer. And it's like,
Right.
if you're up there talking about Jesus Christ, you know, to me it's not offensive, obviously, right? But there's people out there that are like, I'm Jewish, or like, you know, I don't believe in that, or I'm an atheist,
I'm
or,
Arab, or I'm,
right,
I'm-
right. It's like
I believe in Islam.
it's like,
whatever,
okay,
you know what I mean?
you know, you're almost, you know, what's
Yeah.
the word I'm looking for? Promoting religion.
Well,
you know?
and you can exclude people not even
Right,
knowing that you did.
exactly. You're
Right.
excluding people by just promoting one religion.
Right.
Because I'm like, I don't feel that way. I don't see you know. So anyway, so I did National Day of Prayer on the north side of the county. And then on the south side of the county, right after National Day of Prayer, I have 2 meetings. So I have to jam all the way down to Crown Point. I do 1 meeting, and then I follow it up with a lunch. And then I get out of lunch, and I got to be at the Hammond Firehouse in Robertsdale, which is all the way back
Great
to the
event,
north
by
part of
the
the
way.
county. And I jam from Crown Point, and I get to the firehouse right on time.
In a monsoon.
In a monsoon.
Yes.
Right on time, though, right?
Yeah.
Get out. There's freaking 400
It
people.
was so
in there.
nice.
It was
What an event.
jam-packed. Like this event, and I'm like, I got to step out of my car and give a speech in front of 400 people.
Yeah, no, and you did a good job. It was a good speech. And by the way, I thought it was the cool
I
thing.
was
I
typing
thought,
my speech in the car.
I figured.
I was.
I figured. And the cool thing about that
Verbally.
event was that there were fire chiefs from all over and like council people from all over. I
Yeah.
saw Tom Schmidt from Cherville
Yeah.
show up. I saw, you know, like it was nice to see Christine Sid,
Yeah.
who obviously represents Hammond as well, a little bit of Hammond, but she was there with Dave Ham and like just
Yeah.
a really, really nice fire chiefs from Illinois. I saw the South Holland fire chief, Cal
Yeah,
City.
real cool.
Yeah.
And
really
then
nice
we
event.
had 3 former fire chiefs in the room, along with the current fire chief, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so the speakers all spoke, normal speakers, councilperson, myself, blah, blah, blah. But we invited Mike Hull, who's the union president of the firefighters, to speak. And Mike's a great guy. But Mike and I, back in the day, we used to fight. I don't know how often the leader of the fire department and the mayor have a good relationship, or a good enough relationship where the mayor is like, hey, man, why don't you speak at a ribbon cutting? Because sometimes the union president will go up there and be like, hey, you know, I think the mayor's an asshole. Like I do. So like to control that, a lot of times you wouldn't invite the union leaders to speak at an event. But Mike, I have such huge respect for. We gave Mike Hull an opportunity to go up there and speak yesterday, and I thought his speech was the best, man.
Yeah,
he made me cry. Honestly, I
Wow.
started freaking like tearing up, and I was like trying not to. Maybe
I mean,
it's-
I think Mike's a good leader of the firefighters, and I
Yeah,
think he cares
for sure.
about the men and women of the fire department. And I think we just
He's
went
tough
through
as nails,
yeah,
too, man.
we just went through a pretty
he's tough as
difficult-
nails, right?
Yeah, he's really tough, dude, and like
Yeah.
really, just got through a tough contract, and whatever. I think it's one of those things. It's like mutual respect he has.
Totally.
You and him have mutual respect for each
So
other.
he goes up there, and like I was emotional anyway, and probably a little bit tired because I was running all over the place. And then Mike just starts like, just big picture stuff. He's like, take a look around. He's just like talking about
The
and
city.
man, got me. Like I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna start crying right in the middle of the freaking ceremony. I'm sitting there totally like tearing up, like dabbing my eyes.
Well, what he said was right, though. I mean, if you
Yeah.
if you're not familiar with Hammond, and we talk about Hammond obviously a lot, but it is an urban area, and it's a diverse area, and there's poor
Challenging
parts
area.
and rich parts and nice parts and tough parts, and and this area though,
We're on the south side of Chicago, which is the baddest part of town according to.
Big Bad Leroy Brown,
Yeah, but who sings that?
Jim Croce. No,
Jim is it?
I gotta look at that. Maybe Jim Croce. All right,
Yeah, I think
Sucks.
you're right.
I think it is Jim Croce. You're
Yeah, I
right.
think you're
Good
right.
call.
All right,
Let's
Good call.
find out.
I got it.
The
so
south side of Chicago is the
there it is.
baddest part of town.
It's a great
and
song.
if you go down there, you better just beware.
I remember having that album when
That's
I was
a good
kid.
one.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't mine; it was my
I
parents.
love
but
that
yeah,
song
for sure.
But it is. It's so anyway. Like we live on the tough side of Chicago. I
And
mean, let's be honest. I mean, the south side of Chicago is definitely the grittiest part, right?
For sure.
And we
Yeah.
live on the south side. Okay, so like picture that. We're not on the north side where they film Ferris Bueller. We're on the south side where the steel mills are. Okay, so like it's a Pittsburgh-y type feel, right?
And I
down
think,
here.
but I think what Mike was saying, and if you know anything about Hammond, you know that when you took over, the area around this firehouse did not look like it does now. There were trucking. There wasn't public access to the lake. There wasn't, there was all trucking and industrial areas, and now it's literally a new neighborhood with new houses going up and bike trails and bridges and all that stuff. So congrats.
Then we bounce out of there, and I have to be at NIPSCO headquarters after this.
Who's NIPSCO? You got to explain what NIPSCO is.
Sounds
NIPSCO's
big.
the local utility. NIPSCO's and over a $7 billion deal. $7 billion
With a B.
B.
Wait, what?
Yes.
A Hammond deal?
Hammond is worth $3 billion in total. Okay, I'm working on a deal that's worth $7 billion, and it's literally about to go.
He's just
What?
It's like
Should we be
worth way
talking
more
about
than our
this?
city. It's worth way more than our city. But the unfortunate part is a lot of this is
We're knocking on wood back
Yes.
here.
Thank you. A lot of what we're talking about is unfortunately not assessed because it's all computers. Okay, so like but it will still have a dramatic effect on our tax rates and our TIF districts and stuff like that. So it's still a great project, and for NIPSCO, it's an amazing project. So. Anyway, we got a lot of shit going on right now, so like it's cool. I mean,
I think when you go to headquarters, do you meet with like
I met with
higher ups or the
Vince, the CEO, and Rick.
So it was a
the,
very high level meeting.
Yeah, it
The
was
mayor
in
and
his
the CEO.
office. Yeah,
Wow, cool.
In his office, talking about megawatts. When talking about
Good thing is about megawatts. You
Yeah.
used to work
Those
you
are
used
the
to work
best
there.
watts.
actually the megawatts are the
Can you-
megawatts are the
Are they
best
better than
watts.
the
There's
Are they
the
better
title.
than the Giga?
I don't know.
I like that. That's a title. That's in the running.
Killa, Terra.
Megawatts are the best kind of watts. So
Tell our audience why you know about electricity outside of
I
the
used to work
Navy,
there.
but-
I worked in that building actually. It was pretty cool. Going back, I was figuring it out yesterday. I worked there 30 years ago. When I got out of the Navy, I went to work for NIPSCO in that building. So when I walked through that building, it was like a lot of ghosts. When I worked there, first off, it was way busier than it is now because now they still have a lot of the pandemic type of work at home
remote.
stuff.
Mhm.
So when I go in there now, it's like, damn, this place is empty. Compared to when I was there, it was like you're in a mall. There's people everywhere. So it's cool though, man. It looks a lot nicer, and I tell you, I really like the CEO a lot.
Are we going to get the deal done?
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, and it's complicated. So like, I'm not like trying to. It's really complicated for everybody involved. It's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of power needs involved. There's contracts that are going to go out for the next 30 years that have to be
A
negotiated.
lot of moving parts.
God damn, man. It's like so many things could go wrong. But if we land this, I'm just going to drop the mic and retire on the spot.
No,
Like,
you won't. You'll look for the
like,
next
John.
one.
You
Don't
heard it
worry.
here.
He
Like,
says that. but
Blackpot's
then-
final episode. Mic drop. Shit.
That would be a great way to go out.
Yeah.
Tom becomes
Later.
the new CEO of the $7 billion deal.
Yeah. And then 1 year later, I'm in prison. Yeah.
No, it's a tip. It's just gratuity.
Yeah, I forgot we could do that.
It's gratuity.
My bad.
You should put
Thank
a
you,
convention
Mayor.
center next to that.
Oh, a confession center? I like it. All right, guys, I want to try something with you all. Okay, I'm a TikTok person. You guys know that. Okay?
Yes.
And there's this thing trending on TikTok. I wanted to try it out. Okay.
Yeah.
This is so I need you guys to think about this. Okay. So picture the biggest, baddest gorilla you could picture, like a silverback. Okay. Okay. So we got a silverback gorilla, and then you're surrounding the silverback gorilla with men, like 30. They say 100 strong males.
All right, I'm throwing up a
They
illustration.
can be. Is
such.
this just men or men and women? Can they be
Men.
100 strong?
Men.
Okay, just men. This is
Women
men.
wouldn't be stupid enough to do this.
Good
Right,
point,
women
Jill.
would be too smart. They'd be like, so now the goal is this. So we put them all into a Coliseum
Jill's
type of
right.
environment, and it's a fight to the death. You got this one gorilla
Who thinks of these
surrounded
things?
by 100 men, and it's like one of you is going either the gorilla's dead or all 100
Is it
men
one
are
of
gonna
those
be
like
dead.
super gorillas? Those like really big.
Dude, let's just picture the
strongest
baddest
gorilla.
freaking King Kong gorilla you can.
Oh,
not
Silverback,
King Kong,
Kevin.
though. Oh, silverback.
Silver-
All right,
Get the
all
beans
right,
out of your
all
ears,
right,
man.
all right. Sorry, I missed that part. You know why I had bad
like
Leroy
that's a
Brown
bit-
in my head?
Get the beans out of your ears, man. I love that. All right, so
Ferrell.
that's the thing. So
Yep.
we have 100 men against a silverback gorilla, and you go ding, who wins?
It
And-
starts like this.
Yes.
That's what it says. It says they
I
start
would be in the
circle.
fourth
Like, what
row.
are the
Sure.
details?
Sure.
Okay.
It starts in a
Sure.
circle.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
just say it's circle.
All
And
right.
it's 100, like, just average, like, 25 to 30-year-old men.
It's
They're
more
like,
like more than 100 guys.
okay, but it is.
You
Let's
would
assume
know.
it's right. Let's assume it's right, okay? Because this came to us. I assume it's 100, okay?
All right.
Okay, so who wins?
I have questions.
100
Okay,
men.
Jill.
Yeah, no. I would say no to the men. But do
Wow.
they know each other before?
These are good questions. I
I like
agree.
have they prepped?
So, like, what are you getting at?
I guess if they've, I would
Is
say
there
if
any
they've-
waves?
if they've met before, they'll have a strategy.
Right.
Right.
What's
If
the
they-
strategy? Like, Kevin, you're in wave A. I'm in wave D.
I'm going to be in wave Z, dude.
I want to be in wave Z.
I'm in this picture. I'm in the back row.
We all agree waves A, B, C, and D are freaking
Well,
annihilated, right?
Wave A is not going to be in good shape.
yeah,
But if
wave
they-
A sucks. It's
but-
like the short straw.
Do they have any weapons? I
No,
mean, like
no.
sticks,
Your weapon
anything.
is your,
Okay,
your
nothing.
muscles.
Yeah.
Your
All right.
muscles.
So
And
it's
neither
going to be
does the gorilla.
100. It's going to be 100 like army dudes, right? You got to
But
assume
like
they're not
that,
gonna
you
throw
can change it.
regular
Okay,
guys
let's
in
say
there.
that. Okay,
Okay.
let's say
100
it.
Army Rangers.
Just not no, because Army Rangers are. Let's just say it's scrub enlisted.
There you go.
Army.
Okay.
100 squids. How about that?
The foot
100
soldiers.
Navy squids.
well, if they're all like 20 years old, I
Fucking
would-
Navy squids would 100 of them, 99 of them would run away, and there'd be one dude standing there like fighting a gorilla.
All right,
so
100
Navy
Marines.
guys are 100 Marines.
all right. I would go with the 100 Marines because they're young kids and they're.
So
At the end of the day,
Kevin.
they wear down the gorilla
I think.
over time.
You keep changing the parameters.
Okay,
of
let's
this.
just say 100 enlisted Marines, not specially trained recons or anything. Just like if you're a badass and you join the Marines, you're pretty badass. You're probably a high school football player, high
Yeah.
school wrestler, or something.
You got to
like
go
that.
with the guys.
Okay, so you got 100 Marines against one gorilla. Who
Yes.
wins?
Okay, I don't think that's what this was, though. I think this was 100 men.
Okay,
not
I know,
100
we changed
fucking
it.
Marines.
We changed it. We changed it,
We're
Jill.
going to vary the
Okay,
theme here.
Okay, so Jill, Jill, you're saying if it's 100 just regular Joes like us in the studio,
155
we're fucking
year-old
dead men,
guys.
right?
Yes, because the
I
getting
think
100 men
55-year-olds.
to do one thing together is a problem. I think once the first 5 guys get mauled, you lose 75% of the other men.
That is a very good point. Because like when you start seeing somebody get his head bit off,
Ripped up,
Right.
I'm fucking out of here,
His
man.
arm, you got an arm flying over you.
Right?
I think if there's going to be death and destruction, but as the
Why
gorilla is
else would you
moving
go
forward, guys could converge on his back.
Right.
Like converge.
That's what I'm thinking.
Get him from the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tire him out.
Yeah.
And but 20% of you are dead. But
Yeah,
like
true.
once you get that monkey on the ground, then
sure.
you start beating the shit out of it.
Which means
and
you got
eventually-
4 out of 5 chance of survival. If 20 guys
Yeah.
are dead, you got 4
But
out
they're
of 5
not just
chances.
dead; they're mauled. Their
Yeah,
freaking
true.
heads and arms are missing. And
I'm not going to be the first guy. I'd be like number 89 or something, or like 95. All right, how about if
I'll
you
be-
had like 50, I don't know, like or 100
recon Marines.
60-year-olds?
Oh, I still think you got a chance.
I still think
It's
you got
a lot of
chance.
guys, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
More would get annihilated.
Yeah.
Okay, but I do like. I think if you would just like, listen, guys, we're just gonna tackle this goddamn gorilla. We're just gonna overwhelm it, just like a bunch of ants do. When they go after like a rodent or something, you just like
Yeah.
overwhelm it with just force.
Is
and then,
this for fun or
No.
is
no,
this
this
for
is to
survival?
fight
death.
to the death. Fight
For
to the
fun
death.
or
No. It's like one of us is walking out of here, sucker. We're gonna eat
Hopefully
monkey, or
80 of
you're
us are
gonna eat.
walking out.
Yeah, we're eating monkey, or you're eating us. My-
But I think that I just think that even though gorillas are probably close relatives to us, close relatives to humans, I still think the ability for humans to organize and have a strategy would defeat the gorilla eventually.
Chat, what do you think? Gorilla or 100 men?
I think you
Let us know.
overestimate humans.
I think Mr.
I think-
Beast is working on a video for this.
They would have to be a lot of coordination. I agree with Kevin.
Yeah. And
Like
what if
we'd
you
be
did?
like we'd have a game plan.
Absolutely.
I'd be like, okay, Jill and John, you guys are in phase A. Okay, you guys.
Sorry.
Phase B, Kevin, that's you and your team, right? Phase C, we'll get the women in the office. I'll be part of phase Z.
But then I'm starting a faction, and I'm like, that's fucking stupid. We're doing our own shit. And that is how the system breaks down.
Yes.
Did you hear that Elon has offered to be one of the 100 men?
Good.
If Mr. Beast does.
Can
make
he
a
be
video.
number one, the first man?
What do you mean if Mr. Beast? What is Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast, he's that YouTuber who does crazy videos.
Oh, does he do
Not
like a CGI?
quite like this, but no, like real life crazy videos. Not to this degree yet,
Right.
but
R.I.P. Harambe.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Real quick before we get into our ads,
Yep.
I just saw this in the paper today. It just pissed me off.
What is it?
Trump is planning a military
I
parade
heard about this.
in honor of his birthday.
But he's trying to make it part of. So his birthday is like mid-June. I want to say like June 14th or something. And he is trying to say it's part of the Army's 250th anniversary and my birthday.
This guy wants to be the North Korean dictator so bad.
Well, he sees those parades. He's commented on how cool they are.
So
a guy who had bone spurs.
Don't disagree with you, but also like they do trooping the colors in England every year on the Queen's birthday. So
really? He's not the king.
He's not. Is it a monarchy?
I'm not saying. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm just saying North Korea is not the only place that happens.
I mean, we like fought hard to get away from that monarchy, you know. And I think if this is legal, that Trump could, you know, have tanks located from California to Washington, D.C. in honor of his birthday, that I should be able to have parades in Hammond.
Damn.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to get EMS and the fire and police. I'm going to make them freaking, all the kids in school have to come out and stand on the street corner.
Line up
Wave
to the
while
mayor.
I'm driving by. Like, and everybody waves to the mayor. Like, hi, mayor! And, like, all the police officers and
saluting.
firemen have to get up. And
They're in there, like,
shooting water cannons over me as I walk through. Yes.
Wait, you're walking?
I'm going to walk.
Oh, you should be on a balcony.
Maybe with a big sash.
All right.
Oh, you need a balcony.
Okay. All right. I'll be in a balcony. But I need that hat, though, for sure.
Yeah,
My
you
little
do.
And a
Yeah.
sash.
oven hat. Okay.
And maybe we can get the patrol
I got all
guards out
that.
there, like the
I just best out
crossing
Superman.
guards.
Super mayor. So
The Army anniversary coincides with Trump's 79th
See,
birthday.
I knew it was something.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a
250th.
one-time thing.
Yeah,
That's a
250.
yeah. It's going to cost tens of millions of dollars.
Why not?
92 million, I read.
Whoa.
That's all.
Why not?
I mean, does Doge look at that?
No.
No.
We're too busy firing air traffic controllers.
That's the money they saved. That's what we're going to use it for.
Oh, it's one of those deals.
For the Trump birthday parade. Yeah.
It's a good
All right,
investment.
let's do some ads. We're going to talk about our Lieutenant Governor.
We're
here
doing
in
a deep
Indiana,
dive on Micah
Micah
Beckwith when we get back. And
then-
it's going to piss you off.
yeah, I think
Come
so.
on back and talk about Indiana's Lieutenant Governor.
And
He's a
we're-
pastor, so we can't call him a jackass.
And stick around. Tom will.
We
I
can't.
will.
We can't,
And
Kevin.
then we'll try not.
Because he's a pastor.
And then-
That's not appropriate.
And then
Says
stick around.
who?
He is.
Did
No,
you
he
just
is.
name
You
yourself
don't
a
know. He kept
pastor?
his job.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's lieutenant governor and kept his job as
Right,
pastor.
but, like,
Separation of church and state.
People just become like it's not
Oh,
all
yeah.
things is like in
Internet
the
pastor?
Catholic.
I think he's legit. He's got like a flock.
no, he's got it. Yeah,
he's got a
got a-
flock.
Yeah.
a flock.
Yes, he
You have a
does.
flock too. You're not a pastor.
That's true.
Where's our Beckwith gal? She should be on for this.
Oh, Corinne.
Corinne.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Well,
gonna
we
get
got her coming
soon
on.
enough.
Yeah, soon enough.
So, all right, let's do some ads, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Indiana's Lieutenant Governor. So start off with Powering Indiana Lake County, our premier and studio sponsor. Powering Indiana Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. At Powering Indiana Lake County, we set the standard for excellence in electrical work. As IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors, we ensure safety, reliability, and quality for Northwest Indiana corporations, businesses, and homes alike. But our mission goes beyond the job site. We're creating a brighter future for the region we proudly serve. Powering Indiana Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community. Find the right electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outdoor patio serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offer a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakas Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need representation buying or selling real estate? Call Kuklakas Law. Do you need help forming your business? Call Kuklakas Law. Did you get injured in a car crash or at your job? Call Kuklakas Law. No matter what your legal issue, call 219-671-6347 for a free consultation. Who are you going to call? Kuklakas Law. Hablamos español.
When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business, Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 55 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's rogersroofing.com or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Stay in the loop and connected by hitting up their website at mcrpartnersllc.com, or for tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local experts.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Thanks to our sponsors.
Including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana, Lake County.
Thank you. Lieutenant Governor of Indiana, Micah Beckwith, is a gentleman that was placed on the ballot. Governor Braun didn't want him as
No,
his
Governor
lieutenant
Braun
governor.
had a hand-picked state rep. It was a woman. Can't remember her name right now.
Right.
And at the convention, because lieutenant governor in Indiana is a convention candidacy. You don't vote for who's your lieutenant governor candidate. It gets elected by state delegates of the Republican or Democratic Party.
But typically, 99% of the time, the governor makes a choice as to who they would like to serve with as lieutenant governor, and it's affirmed by the
Absolutely.
By the convention.
Absolutely.
That's typically what happens. However, we're not in typical times, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, you don't run for lieutenant governor. You're appointed by the governor. You don't see people run for lieutenant governor. It's just never been done in Indiana, typically.
Right.
However, these are not typical times, as we just said. Micah Beckwith is a pastor, I believe, from southern Indiana, or it's south of Indy, in that area, and he's a ardent right-winger, big, MAGA supporter, and has a big following through his church, and decides he's running for lieutenant governor and makes a pitch to the conventioneers, and it's literally probably 1,000 across the state that you have to talk to, and he starts campaigning. It's a lot easier in Micah Beckwith's mind to run for lieutenant governor going after 1,000 voters instead of going after 6 million Hoosiers across the state.
Yeah, also it was reported that he had loaded up some delegates, and in a smart. You look. You got to give him
not
credit.
illegal, right?
Yeah, you got to give him credit. He was smart to say, "Hey, there's a lot of delegate spots open. Let's put in my family,
Yes.
my friends, my parishioners,
My
and they'll be
parishioners.
delegates."
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's legal. We're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
saying he
yeah.
did anything
Yeah, yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
He
No.
was being a smart politician, and he made a strong run at running for lieutenant governor, which is not normally done. Normally, they're picked by the governor and affirmed. But this time, Micah stacks the deck, runs for LG, and wins.
And everyone's like,
and he's
"Holy."
like, "Hi, Mike Braun. I'm your new candidate. I'm along with you on the.
I'm your new running mate.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so Braun and Beckwith are like a married couple that's like, love at first sight. Well, not, they're just sort of like arranged marriage kind of situation.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. It's like an arranged marriage.
So I don't think Braun loves Beckwith. I think Braun's sort of like, this guy's a total liability. I'm trying to do great things for Indiana, and I got this crazy pastor on my ticket as well, but he can't do anything about it because there's a whole wing of the Republican Party that supports this lunacy.
Yeah, in fact, I think one of the things I noticed early on was that usually the lieutenant governor helps with the inauguration and like the ball and stuff like that, and Beckwith was not named to do that by Braun.
So they're like a
Like you said,
odd
like an
couple.
arranged marriage.
Yeah, like an odd couple, like an arranged marriage.
Yep.
So they're arguing last week about DEI, which obviously is a big deal right now because everybody in the Republican Party wants to get rid of anything that has DEI in it. And as they're talking about this, Indianapolis senator mentioned basically there's been policies in America that have discriminated against African Americans, and this senator brings up the 3/5 compromise, which was the compromise done to help bring the southern states into the Constitutional Convention. Basically, the counted enslaved people, this is back in 1787, the agreement made during the 1787 Constitutional Convention counts enslaved people as 3/5 of a person when measuring a state's population for taxation and representation purposes. Okay? Now, I don't want to get into constitutional law too deep here, but basically they did this so that they could bring the country together, affirm the Constitution, and what they did was said if you have a slave in the southern states, they don't count as a whole person. They only count as 3/5 of a person.
I mean, here's the thing, right? You got to remember, this is when we're doing the Constitution back in the day, it's a compromise, and we're trying to get everybody on board. And so the northern states were like, I don't think, I'm generalizing here, but I don't think slaves should count at all, 0. And the southern states wanted to say, no, they should count as a full person. Why? Because the more population you have, the more representation you have in the House of Representatives.
True
so
story.
that was, and so they came up with this compromise called the 3/5 compromise, where the northern states gave in 2/5 of a person, apparently.
Right.
And
so basically, you're counting an African American slave at the time as only 60% of a person.
yeah, and it became to be known as like you're lesser of a person. Terrible.
Right. They did it to bring the South into the Constitution, but what this also did was it built up the South's population, and it made it basically so that civil rights were delayed. Even though we ratified the 14th Amendment, civil rights were delayed until the 1950s, 1960s because the southern states blockaded, what's the word I'm looking for? Filibustered any movements through the Senate. So,
Sure.
But basically, what we're going to get to now. So obviously, 3/5 compromise is not a proud moment in American history.
No.
Okay. Well, according to Indiana's lieutenant governor, that's not true. And this is what he said. I would like to share with you the 3/5 compromise. This is Micah Beckwith, by the way, Indiana's lieutenant governor. I would like to share with you the 3/5 compromise is not a pro-discrimination compromise. It was not a pro-discrimination or a slave-dropping compromise that the founders made. It was actually just the opposite, Beckwith says in a video clip just under 4 minutes long. His rationale: the compromise gave slaves less representation than they would have had if slaves were counted as people, preventing the constitutional enshrinement of slavery, he argues. He does not address the fact that the law increased slaveholding states' representation in U.S. Congress relative to their number of voters, making it difficult, if not impossible, to pass an amendment abolishing slavery.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to his rationale, what he's saying, and which makes no sense to me, and I think actually Representative Earl Harris had a good statement on this as well, but who's a local representative here in the region. But like he's making the argument that like, the founders were playing this long game as if they knew the Civil War was coming. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are you talking about? You had no idea in 1787 that there was going to be a Civil War in 1860 and that this was going to like lessen their representation of the southern states so that they couldn't fight back against the Union position of anti-slavery. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And so he's going on the record trying to tell everybody what a great thing this 3/5 compromise was.
So now you have Indianapolis clergy members, a large percent of the clergy that we're talking about in Indianapolis or African-American leaders of the clergy down there are outraged and want Governor Braun to address this. Okay. Obviously, any African-American in across the country or particularly in Indiana that reads this and tries to see that the lieutenant governor is justifying the 3/5 compromise just enrages a number of people. So they want Governor Braun to deal with this, right? And Governor Braun, keep in mind, probably doesn't like Micah Beckwith. Is like, I wish I had my handpicked LG candidate, right? So this is what Governor Braun said. He said, I definitely wouldn't have used that characterization, and I don't like it, he said. I'm a believer that you better start thinking about what you're saying before it comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
That's coming from the governor to his number 2. This is the kind of stuff that you just don't see very often.
Don't hear.
You just don't see
Usually
it.
They're on the same page. And I thought it was interesting that Braun came out really hard against it. I mean, I think Braun is a much better politician than Beckwith, but you can tell Beckwith is trying to make this is my lane.
Yes.
And in 8 years, I'm running for governor.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
He
Or
thinks
maybe
he's
in 4 years he's running for governor.
Could you imagine?
Maybe
you might not be wrong, Tom.
I agree with
if
you,
the
man.
LG took on the governor in a primary.
That would
it's
be
not
wild.
like
That
things aren't
would
crazy
be
enough.
wild.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So lots of craziness going on, not just across the country, not just across our northern border with our neighbors to the north, Canada, but also right here in Indiana. Everybody's going at each other in politics. So
Can Braun do anything to him? Like, can he censure him? Can he
I
get
mean,
rid of
censure him.
him?
You
Or,
can
I
censure
mean,
can't get
the
rid of him.
House could censure
you
him.
I guess you could probably try to impeach him, but there's nothing impeachable about being dumb.
Yeah, about
It's
being,
true.
about
Like,
being absolutely wild on your interpretation of the Constitution. So
yeah.
that happens every day now.
Right.
Why say anything? You know what I mean? Like, why say anything?
Well,
I agree.
that's
By
what I
the
mean,
way,
like,
you're touching a racial
headline.
issue.
Why relitigate something?
Yeah, the 3/5 compromise.
Hey, guys,
Let's
I want to
open
talk
this one.
about.
it wasn't even
Talk about the
it wasn't even
3/5
being
compromise.
talked about.
I know. let me tell you my opinion on this.
Say how I feel.
Like, what the?
Let me tell you what I think about slavery.
Yeah.
Like, let me do a 4-minute.
I'm a white guy. I have a lot of hard opinions on this.
Can you imagine if Tom went live one day on Facebook and was like, I want to talk about the three
let's talk a little race.
John would make. John's like, hey man, we got it. We don't have a good signal, Tom. We're gonna go off.
So, hey guys, we got a guest waiting right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
He's our Lockpod's Canadian correspondent, Jesse Hirsch, who I haven't been able to meet yet.
Well, we're going to do our ads. We're going to come back, and Jesse's going to be
Oh,
on.
my God, he's wearing our shirt.
I noticed that.
That's
why
man.
I'm a big fan already. So
I think that might be the only one we sold. Congratulations. Thank you for buying that.
We made him buy it.
He wears a large, obviously. So
so we're going to do ads. We're going to come back with Jesse Hirsch, Lockpod's Canadian correspondent.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and do them. Let's start off with Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time and within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and in Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions that leave a lasting impression. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give Cantrell and Cantrell a call and schedule your consultation with someone who's in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
The Bug Guys Pest Control, firefighter owned and operated. The Bug Guys specialize in keeping your home pest free. Call today to schedule your spring treatment. Free estimates and never any contracts. Single treatments or monthly specials available. Call Brian or Craig, the Bug Guys, today to see how they can help you kick off your spring pest free. God, there are no sentences in this to read. Jesus Christ.
Keep going.
219-810-7481 or on Facebook at The Bug Guys. Jesus Christ. The Bug Guys Pest Control. That's their Facebook page.
We're going to give them their money back today.
Customer Insurance Agency. No, we're not, by the way. For decades, the Ron J. Customer Insurance Agency.
Do you think having a Canadian correspondent is cheap?
Yeah, right?
It's not cheap. We don't
cheap. Yeah. For decades, the Ron J. Customer Insurance Agency has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. The Customer Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Customer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
Calumet Brewing, Michelob Ultra, the official sponsor of the PGA, is a superior light beer with ultra smooth taste. This refreshingly crisp light lager has only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, making it the perfect beer on the golf course or at the 19th hole. Check out the new Ultra Zero with only 29 calories, making it the perfect zero alcohol beer for any time of the day. Head over to the Cal Brew or Michelob Ultra websites and social media pages for more info on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Michelob Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly. Thanks to our sponsors, including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana, Lake County.
Ladies and gentlemen, proud to introduce Lockpod's Canadian correspondent, Jesse Hirsch. Jesse Hirsch is a futurist, a farmer, and a media tech researcher based in rural eastern Ontario, Canada. On his farm, the Academy of the Impossible, which is wired up with high-speed fiber optic internet, he engages in a wide range of research regarding agriculture, media, technology, and culture. He has a master's degree in algorithmic media from Toronto Metropolitan University. His current focus is on the rise of automated media, as well as governance and ethics of artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and privacy. He hosts a podcast named MetaViews to the Future and writes a daily newsletter called MetaViews, The Future of Authority, which you can find on Substack. Welcome, Jesse Hirsch, to Lockpod. Welcome back, Jesse Hirsch.
Always a pleasure to be here. Great to meet you, Mayor Tom.
Thanks, man. It's good to see you, and thanks for wearing the shirt, man. We appreciate that. It's good to see you. Everybody's telling me what a great guest you were. I'm like, why do you keep putting him on when I'm not on?
And Jesse, by the way, welcome back. And I just want to remind Mayor Tom, that was like your bio before Trump was elected the second time, and now your bio is more, I think now you'd probably say, like, I'm more involved in politics than I ever was.
Yes and no. I'd say I'm more involved in North American politics.
There you go.
I keep saying I'm Canadian for now, and it speaks to why I need to be making more American friends.
Yeah, man.
Well, last time you were on, it was right around the time. I don't know if Trudeau had resigned. It was right around the time Trudeau was resigning, and you called it. You said, "Listen, Trump's saying the elections are going to be down the road. Carney's going to be in office next Monday," and it happened because he was like the interim prime minister. So why don't you give us Americans down here who don't know enough about what happened last week, what happened in Canada, and whether it was a surprise to everybody or what your take on it was?
Well, it was a bit of a surprise. I mean, you have to remember 6 months ago, everyone assumed we'd have a conservative government by now, that the Liberals would have been decimated and really be almost completely destroyed. That's how much people hated them. But people hate Trump more.
Wow.
And this election was really an election between Carney and Trump. And everyone else just competed to get attention, to be like, pay attention to me. But here's the paradox. The Conservative Party actually didn't lose. I mean, they didn't win, but the spin that they're trying to peddle right now is they didn't actually lose any numbers in terms of support. It's all the other parties that lost. The Liberals kind of became a bastion for the anti-Trump and by extension, the anti-conservative vote. So it's kind of taken Canada from a 5-party system to what is ostensibly becoming a 2-party system.
Wow.
And the other thing I said the first time I came on here was 90% of Canadians did not want to join America. And I said that was going to be the high water mark, that it was going to go down from there. Because I think a lot of conservatives, as sore winners, are now starting to reevaluate which side they're on. So Canadian politics has been completely upended. And we're now just waiting to see what happens in terms of whether Trump is going to double down on the 51st state rhetoric and whether Carney, as a very competent, seasoned politician, is going to kick him in the balls, is going to stand up to him and, try to swing above his weight class.
I don't see Trump continuing the 51st state rhetoric. I think it's silliness. I think most Americans sort of snicker when they hear that, I'll be honest with you, Jesse, and the Greenland stuff also. And believe me, I'm glad that we talk about stuff like not necessarily the 51st state, but the Greenland, and I get it with the Arctic ice melting and all that. I get why we're talking about this, but it's so offensive to Canadians. It's so offensive to the Danish. It's just embarrassing a little bit.
Yeah, it is. And and the one I was going to ask, Jesse, like one of the things that we didn't really talk about because it hadn't hit, or let me ask you this first. I want to ask, is Carney is considered kind of a moderate within the Liberal Party. Is that accurate? He's a banker. And, Mayor Tom's kind of a moderate. So I thought that was interesting that the Liberals were able to put out a candidate that I think was a lot palatable to a lot of Canadians because it was the middle versus Trudeau, who they consider to be very far left.
Well, and not only that, but this is a real case of competence versus character, that he essentially appropriated all the conservative policies. Like their biggest policy was to axe the carbon tax. And Mark Carney did that on his first day in office.
Wow.
So all the policies that they were proposing, he quickly sort of said, yeah, no biggie, and embraced them, but still focused on social policy, still focused on the kind of left-wing stuff that people feel good about, and that contrasts him with Trump, that contrasts him with the conservatives. So he really balanced the kind of need to be moderate with the rhetoric to still be progressive. But the question now upon government is whether he can hold that together, because the other catch, the other ripple here is he doesn't have a majority. He's 4 seats shy of a majority, which means that he needs the cooperation of other parties. And the Greens have 1 seat. The NDP have 7 seats. So they're decimated. They don't even have official party status. They're basically 7 independents who don't get any of the resources of Parliament. So on the one hand, he has a strong
exciting
position.
Though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, it makes everyone pay a closer attention. But it also means he can't be arrogant. He still has to cater either to the left or to the right, because a whole other scenario is there are a lot of people in the Conservative Party who want to ditch their leader. He doesn't have a seat, so he can't actually be in Parliament. But as of today, he still is holding on. And there's all these people saying they'll back him. So if they could convert 4 Tories into liberals, then they've got their majority. Then they can govern from the center. So it's still kind of predetermined.
Wow.
And I hope you're right about this 51st state nonsense. I agree. It's absolutely absurd.
It's insane.
But Canadians were very much not just pissed off, terrified.
I'd be pissed off too, man. Honestly. I mean, Jesse, it's so insulting. Like there was never talked about during the campaign. Greenland was never talked about during the campaign. There was a lot of stuff never talked about the campaign that we're dealing with right now. But if he would have said, I think if you asked most Americans on election day how they felt about Canadians, 95% of people would have a positive view of Canada. I mean, the 5% that didn't, I would wonder why they would.
Their ex-wife was Canadian.
Yeah, something it has to be something like that.
and since you earlier invited me to be, you guys are now my correspondents.
That's good. We'll be your American correspondents.
A very related Canadian question. So when you head to Michigan there on mile marker 1
sir.
or go all the way to New Buffalo, are there Canadian products in those stores? Like, are we exporting in a way that, again, kind of fosters this greater because we export to Australia, we export to Israel. Like, it's becoming a major agricultural product for us.
Jesse, I tell you what I'm going to do next time I go to New Buffalo. I'm going to buy Canadian weed for you, okay? In your honor, all right? I imagine it's good, yeah. But
I was going to ask you, Jesse, about the tariffs. Like, because we didn't really what's the temperature up your way in the Great White North about tariffs?
Well, the real focus, both here in Ontario, but I think also domestically, is the auto industry.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's hundreds of thousands of jobs here in Ontario that are directly tied to American auto manufacturing, and the way in which that manufacturing crosses the border so many times. That's where a lot of the current anxiety is. That's where there's a focus on getting a deal that either exempts the auto industry or rolls back tariffs completely. But there are a lot of sectors. Agriculture is huge. Quebec exports tons of food to the United States. So this is why Carney won. There's no way the Liberals would be in power right now if it weren't for Trump, if it weren't for the tariffs, if it weren't for us being sucked into American politics.
Right.
I think the tariffs has turned out to be a catastrophe for Trump.
Agree.
Hopefully he rolls that back. But if he doesn't, look, Canada's already, and I say this facetiously because politically I don't see it happening, but Canada's already talking free trade with China.
Wow.
And I think they're only doing that to piss off Trump, to use it as a card.
It's smart.
But we'd have no other choice.
But Jesse, let me ask you a question.
We would be so screwed. Go
Do
ahead.
most Canadians realize that there's people in America like us that are sad about what's going on? I mean, it's a 4-year process, honestly. We're going to get rid of this guy, I promise you, okay? Yeah. And obviously we had temporary insanity electing this guy the second time. I hope most people in Canada realize that there's a significant percentage of Americans that do love Canada and do want to restore our old relationship, but we're stuck with this guy for a couple. I hope Canadians realize that.
Well, maybe a third term.
Yeah. Who knows?
And here's the paradox that I'll float to, aspiring politicians. We love America.
Thank you.
And we would love to have a situation in which we could retain our Canadianness, but freely travel to America all the time and spend our money and go to Cubs games and do all these things. So it's terrible that these conversations have happened under threat and anxiety when they would better happen under friendship and trust.
Agree with you, man.
Because that's the paradox. Like, there is so much mutual love that, we got to get rid of this cloud so we're going to get rid of this cloud, bud.
I'm really sorry. I'm apologizing on behalf of our country because I'm embarrassed about what's gone on with the relationship between our countries. I really am. Canada was never the problem. It was never the problem. It's currently not the problem. This is it's a distraction game played by our president. So, and it's sad.
It's making a problem out of something that wasn't.
Right,
so.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, Jesse, always appreciate you coming on, as you know.
I could totally see why you're the Canadian ambassador to Lockpod. Like, I got that.
Well, and we can't forget about your newest podcast, Red Tory, right?
There you go.
Well, again, I'm flattered that you guys are even paying attention to us.
Let's go.
So let's find ways to keep that going.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's keep this relationship alive. We'll keep on checking in with you whenever things get squirrely between our countries. Okay, Jesse?
Right on. Sounds
All right,
great.
man.
Keep
Good
up
to
the
see
great
you.
work, man. Thanks for coming back to Lockpod. It's good to see you. And again, everybody, that's Jesse Hirsch.
Looks good in the shirt.
Yeah, he's a Lockpod's Canadian correspondent, and it was great talking with you, man. Thanks.
See you later.
Wow, good
Thank
job,
you.
guys. Good job. Steve found him, right?
Yeah, originally Steve had him on. We had him on for just I think like his book and stuff, and then it was,
Wow.
it was like, well,
He's a great guest.
Whenever you want Canada, and who knew that Canada would be newsworthy?
Like little do we know.
And,
See,
and,
that's
you
why.
know,
That's why we
on
make
and
these
on and
important
on.
connections,
so it's good to
right?
have him, so.
So anyway, I just want to say thanks to everybody for listening to another great episode of Lockpod season 15, episode 3. You know, we just keep turning in high quality product.
Keep
you know?
rolling.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people watching on X today.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll tell you, man.
Ecstasy?
X.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a couple watching on Ecstasy.
Here and there.
also, yeah. But I'm telling you, man, that was a good show, and he's a smart dude, man.
I
That's-
love that guy.
How many
Jesse
people?
is-
Like there was an intelligent conversation between Canadians and it's semi-intelligent conversation between Canadians and Americans about what's going on with our country. I think it's nice that we can have that type of communication.
Well, and I think it's nice that like something like Lockpod, which I don't want to say we're regional, but we Midwest, Indiana,
We're the most
region
dangerous.
centric, and we're able to bring in somebody like Jesse and
Dude,
talk to
he's great. He was a great
get
guest.
people educated.
He was a great guest. I definitely want him to come back.
We
So
will.
I'm glad I got to experience that.
We should go to Canada.
Yeah,
Lockpod on the road. Hey, by the way, we have a
Can we go to
Lockpod.
Quebec?
I would be down with that.
I would love to go
That'd
to
be
I've
Quebec.
never
Yeah.
been to Canada, by the way. How
Really?
What?
weird is that?
Ever?
I've been across the bridge from Canada. I've never gone across that
Wow,
bridge. Yeah,
let's
Tom.
go.
I know.
Come on,
Toronto.
I know.
Yeah.
It's but anyway, we're doing a Lockpod segment on the road this season, Byway Brewery. I think we got the date picked.
We're getting close. We're getting close
Yeah.
to confirming the date.
So we're doing it's a Friday too.
Yep.
So you got to come in, Jill, and
I'm
hold
here,
it. You are
I'm
on
here every
Friday.
Friday.
So my bad. Yeah, it's a Friday.
Don't come
show.
here. Go to Byway that day.
It's a
And
Friday
all of
show.
our
Is
fans.
that like the day
Yeah.
where you changed offices and didn't tell me we were in
Yes,
the new
that day. It's going to be fun, though. We're going to do a Byway breakfast. We're going to invite people in, and we're going to have
The crack
probably a good
waffles will
guest.
be on display.
They will.
Yeah, they
All you
should just
can eat.
name them.
We're going to see how
Mayor
many. We're going to
Tom's crack
stack up. We're
waffles.
going to stack them up like this in front of you
Yeah.
and see how much you go down.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Wrap
right,
it
man.
up, Locomotive.
Thanks, man. I appreciate everybody listening. So we'll be back on Tuesday. I'm not sure if we have a guest or not, but this episode we do have a lot of guests lined up, so it's going to be a great season. So thanks for listening, everybody. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate your input and all the great work you do. Jill, awesome to see you again. Thank you very much for being here. And Jay Vez, appreciate you as well. And to our fans and to our sponsors, we appreciate you the most. Without the sponsors, without you fans, we'd just be sitting there talking to each other. So thanks for listening to Lockpod. We'll be back on Tuesday.